Raising backyard chickens can be a lot of fun. And it has other rewards. Now, baby chicks are about as robust as a wet piece of toilet paper. One of the biggest threats to them is them getting cold, and so you want to make sure that you have a good heat lamp. I usually don't even get my chicks until after the last frost day. Now, whenever I introduce a chick to a new home, I always like to make sure it knows where the water is. So I always take each one of them and dip their little beak in the water. Now, I use some wood shavings, and this is kind of the smaller variety for underneath their pen to catch any of their waste. If you get the small stuff, I would not recommend using it for their bedding. I use straw, because if you get the fine stuff, they'll start eating it, and then that causes them to become even more constipated or impacted, and you don't really want that. So if you get the shavings, be sure you get the real large size shavings to use in their bed. Now, you want to protect their feed inside some kind of container so the varmints can't get it. A metal trash can is a good place to store food for chickens. I like to put a trash bag in mine so that the food doesn't come in contact with the galvanization of the can and start contaminating the food. I also like to mix in a little bit of this diatomaceous earth, which kind of helps keep down any ringworms or anything like that inside the baby chicks. And here's just a view of the type of TerraVet powder that I mix in their water, and it's got just a little bit of tetracycline in it, which is, I believe, some kind of antibiotic. So I keep that all inside here where it's easy access. Another thing I like about this cage, other than it having a little sliding tray for their waste, is it's got a door that's raised up pretty high off the bottom so these chicks can't jump out the door in case I accidentally leave it open. Another thing I like about it is it's got these springy latches on it, and it also closes really tightly. That's important if you get a chicken snake that tries to get in.
Looks like we have another visitor in the chicken house.
Ooh, good snag.
It's a chicken snake, and he's just trying to make a living.
Boy, he's a pretty one.
Yeah.
Look at his tongue coming out. Ooh, yeah. You also want some kind of a wire here that's only a 1/2 inch by maybe an inch. No greater than a 1/2 inch, because a chicken snake can wind its way in there. And believe me, with that forked tongue from miles away, they can smell these baby chicks. Another thing that can threaten baby chicks is fire ants. Down here in the south, we've got mounds of them. It only takes one bite from a fire ant to kill a little baby chick. So be sure and treat any mound that's near where you keep your chicks. I use malathion. I also like to sprinkle a little bit of ant killer along the base of the food box and around the bottom of the sawhorses. Anywhere ants might be able to try and get access up onto the table where the chicks are. It's also a good idea to mark your calendar when you got them, and you should be able to look to the future about 6 months, and these pullets ought to be laying about that time. So then just before dark, I'll come out and check to make sure the heat lamp is on, and then I'll pull a blanket down over these chicks just to kind of trap some of that heat in there to keep them warm. As you can see, it's been 3 weeks now, and the chicks have grown a lot. It's hard to keep them in food and water. They just go through it left and right. There also is a space problem. So what I've done to solve it is I've built a little brooder on the outside of the greenhouse that they can access through a trap door. Well, I cut a little door in the end of their outdoor cage and put a little ramp on there with some cleats on it so that they could come outside. We finally had some good spring weather. Not too cold, not too windy, not too rainy. And they've all managed to come outside. So this is their end of the 6th week, going into their 7th week. They really seem to be enjoying it out here. They're just doing crazy chicken stuff. You know, taking dirt baths and picking around through the grass and getting after the seeds. Just acting like chickens. Probably in a few more weeks I'll be able to let them mingle with some of the bigger birds and see how they do. Those bigger birds probably whoop up on them for a while, but as they get bigger, I'll let them join the main flock.